Lisa and Patty have been studying the Plains Indians at school, so they decided to make a teepee of their own. First, they made a frame of sticks, which they covered with burlap cloth, and now they're having some fun painting Indian symbols on it. It looks good, doesn't it? I wonder, does everything have to have a frame in order to hold it up and give it shape? Well, a house does. A window does. An umbrella? An umbrella does, sure. It has a frame that holds the cloth out so that you'll be dry when it rains. What about people? Do people have frames inside? Do I? Do you? Do you have a frame inside your body? What do you think? Let's see if we can find out just by feeling our own bodies. Try feeling yourself here, here, or here, here, here. I don't care where. Here. Do you feel those hard parts inside? What are they? Bones, yes. You have a framework of bones inside your body, just like the teepee has a framework of sticks. But Lisa and Patty used only 6 sticks making their teepee, and you have a framework of over 200 bones. Why, that's a lot. Where are they all? Well, there's your head bones, your neck bones, your shoulder bones, your arm bones, elbow bones, hand bones, finger bones, chest bones, rib bones, hip bones, thigh bones, knee bones, leg bones, ankle bones, foot bones, toe bones. Whew! There you have it, over 200 bones. And they're all put together in a special way to give you your shape and to make your frame. Would you like to see how all those bones are put together? Okay. Let's go visit a guest, a special guest, in the next room. This is Ms. Bones. Now, what do you think of her? Well, she must be chilled to the bone. Ms. Bones is, do you know what the word is for this frame of bones you have? The word starts with S. Say it. Skeleton. Right. Ms. Bones is a skeleton, and you have a skeleton right inside. Only yours is smaller, and yours is alive and growing. Have you ever seen a real one before? I want you to notice that every bone is different. Each bone in this skeleton is different in size and in shape. But in one way, they're all alike. See if you can guess what it is. Watch while I try to bend just one bone in Ms. Bones' arm bone. You ready? Okay. Nope. Won't bend. Why not? That's right, because her bones are so hard. And that's why they won't bend. What about yours? Will they bend? Let's try it. Grab your arm in the same place. Use the same bone. Now, bend as hard as you can, or press. Does it bend? You can't? Oh, why not? That's right, because your living bones are hard too. They don't bend. You know, your bones have to be hard for 2 very good reasons. They have to be strong enough to hold you up, and they have to be firm enough to give you your shape. Most of the animals, you know, dogs and cats and frogs and bats, they all look the way they do because of the special way their skeletons are put together. Do you know what animal this skeleton belongs to? Now, I'll bet right away you knew it wasn't a toad and that it wasn't a crow. This is the skeleton of a cat. And a cat looks the way it does because of that special way its bones are put together. So, a cat will never be mistaken for you, and you will never be mistaken for a cat or any other animal. I hope. Now, do all living things have to have bones? Well, let's see. What about a jellyfish? Can you see any bones inside the jellyfish? I don't feel any bones inside the jellyfish. Do you see how limp and floppy a jellyfish is? Just like the paramecium we saw last time through the microscope. Remember? It didn't have any skeleton either. Neither do worms or germs or bugs or slugs. They don't have skeletons. Well, their bodies are so small they don't need bones to hold them up. But you do, and I do. Without skeletons, why, we'd all be just as limp and floppy as jellyfish. But wait a minute. Didn't we just say that the bones in Ms. Bone's skeleton and the bones in your skeleton were hard and don't bend? Well, if that's true, then how come we aren't just stiff all over, like this? How come we don't stand like this and move like this? Well, you know that we don't do that. Let's see if we can find out why. Take a look at your hands. Now, you don't go around with your fingers sticking out like this all the time, do you? Why not? Well, let's take a look at just one finger. One finger doesn't have just one bone inside. It has 1, 2, 3 separate bones inside. You can feel the places where the bones join. Here and here. And that's where your fingers bend. So, even though your bones are stiff, you can still bend your fingers. Oh, the place where one bone joins another is called a joint. And without joints, your fingers would just be as stiff as sticks. It wouldn't be easy to pick up a spoon in order to eat, or to hold a pencil in order to write. Now, if you've got some other joint somewhere else in your body. All right, let's find out. Do this with me. There's your shoulder joint, right? What else? There's a elbow joint, okay? And how about the wrist joint and your neck joint? Okay. Are there any others? How about your head? Put your fingers right here on that little bump right in front of your ears. Can you find it? Now press very hard and say something silly with me, like, hello, Ms. Bones. How do you do? I've got as many bones as you. Did you feel something moving? What was it? Yes, the part that you felt moving was the joint here at your jawbone. And without the joints right here in your jawbone, you couldn't talk, you couldn't chew, you couldn't yawn either. In fact, without joints all over your body, you really couldn't move or walk or run, you couldn't talk, you couldn't eat. You couldn't do much of anything at all. Of course, all the bones in your body are very important, but there's one that does the most to help hold you up and to let you bend, and that is your backbone, right? And since you know that your backbone bends, then you know that it must not be just one long bone. So let's look at Ms. Bone's backbone and see how it's made. Look very closely. Do you see that Ms. Bone's backbone is really made of lots of little separate bones, all fitted together? There's a special name for this chain of movable bones. It's called the spine. And each bone in your spine is joined to the one next to it. There, you see? Your head sits on one end of your spine, and you sit on the other. Now, there's something else that your bones do for you besides hold you up, let you bend, and give you shape. You may already know what it is, but in case you don't, I'll give you a hint. What does the cage do for the canary? Yes, it helps keep the canary inside. And what else? Suppose there were a live cat in here instead of just the cat skeleton. That's it. It helps protect the canary from being hurt. All right. Now, what about the bones in your skeleton? Well, put your hands here on your chest. Press. Do you feel those bones? What are they? Yes, they're your ribs. Some people call them the rib cage. And they are like a cage. I mean, they're bars with spaces in between. And just as the bird cage helps to protect the canary inside, your rib cage helps to protect certain soft organs inside. To help you remember what some of those soft organs are, let's go take a look at the model that we saw before. Now, here's the chest bone and the ribs. That whole thing is the rib cage. What are these soft organs behind the ribs? These soft, spongy ones that you use to breathe with. Right, those are your lungs. Okay. And here's an awfully important organ, almost in the center, lying behind the lungs. What's that? Your heart. Good. Oh, and don't forget this large, soft organ lying here, your liver. Now, you see, if you didn't have your ribs, your rib cage, to protect all these soft organs, they might get hurt accidentally if you fell down. Okay, where else do your bones protect you? How about your head? Feel your head. Is it hard? It feels like just one big, hard, rounded bone, doesn't it? What do you suppose it's like inside? Is it bone all the way through, or do you think it could be hollow? Well, I've got a monkey skull here that will help us find out the answer. You see, the top of the skull can be taken off so that we can look inside. Ready? There. Did you guess hollow? Ah, good for you. Then you guessed right. But are you really empty-headed? Certainly not. The skull covers a very important organ inside that you need in order to think and to stay alive. What is it? Your brain, right. And in this model, we can take a look at one half of the brain. Do you see how nicely the skull covers the brain, or how neatly the brain fits inside the skull? Now do you know why the bones in your head have to be so hard? Exactly, because the brain is a soft organ, and it must be protected from being hurt. And you do need your brain. We've been using ours a lot today, haven't we? And mine, to tell the truth, is getting a little tired. So I think I'll relax and go watch somebody else work for a change. Bye now. Well, Lisa and Patty, how are you doing?
All About You is a project of the Agency for Instructional Television.